I don't know if you heard the news out of Minnesota. It was broken at 12:27 Eastern time via Adam Schefter's Twitter account. J.J. McCarthy will be undergoing knee surgery. Further information released would tell us that that'd be on a meniscus. Is it a full tear? Is it a partial tear? Joining us now, senior NFL insider for ESPN, Adam Schefter. Hey, Schefter. Hate to hear this.
Gentlemen, what is going on today?
Hate to hear this about a Michigan man. Obviously, we all saw the way he has handled himself as a Minnesota Viking. We saw his preseason debut. We saw glimmers of hope. And we know Sam Darnold's there, so we don't know what the entire schedule was going to be for him to play at the beginning of the season anyways. But this comes after he says he has soreness. And what are we looking at down the road now, Shefty?
Well, essentially, Pat, they went in, they did an MRI on Monday night, and they found the torn meniscus. And now the question is whether he will need just a trimming of that meniscus or whether he will need a complete repair. There are two very different timelines for each surgery depending on what doctors believe is the best option. So we don't know right now whether he's going to be out multiple weeks or potentially a whole lot longer for J.J. McCarthy. The surgery will determine exactly how long he's out. But I think for now, suffice it to say, you hope that he comes back from this. You hope he comes back from this quickly. And the Vikings are now going to prepare Sam Darnold to start opening day against the Giants in New York, New Jersey. And that's going to be the path they have to take because JJ is going to need this surgery after undergoing that MRI on Monday night.
Godspeed to JJ in recovery. I had meniscus, but it was always at the end of the season, so there was never any rush on the way back. AJ, did you ever have in-season meniscus?
No, it was always off-season for me.
Yeah, me too. But I've seen like some guys get like a scope surgery that I got and get back on their feet and in the building a lot quicker than I did, but there was no...
Depends, repair or remove. If you remove cartilage, then you can come back quicker. If you repair it, you kind of sew it together, and that's when you have to be like non-weight bearing for 6 or 8 weeks sometimes.
Okay, got it. And then, but if you remove it, that's a forever thing.
No, it's gone, but you come back quicker. It's not... Yeah, if you repair it, it's better long-term for your health.
Yeah, and if you remove it, it is just you can't walk, later in life comfortably.
Yeah, welcome to the club, yeah.
Yeah, AJ Hawk, the whole thing. And there's allegedly some European doctor, I think German maybe, that has figured out how to put a new one in. Like it's like in test. It's been in testing for like 15 years, I think. So, but with my Instagram feed, I see him pop up in there. Nonetheless, meniscus, big decision. J.J. McCarthy missing the start of season. We are bummed out because he looks special, obviously, and we're excited to see him get started down the road whenever it takes place. Go ahead, AJ.
Schefter, you mentioned New York, New Jersey. What's going on with Haason Reddick in his whole situation? Now requesting a trade from the Jets, and he hasn't even been there yet. How do you see this thing kind of playing out?
Well, they're in a tough spot, both sides right now, because essentially Haason Reddick shows up to the Jets complex after the trade's completed, goes through the introductory press conference, praises the organization, takes his physical, and basically that's the last time we've seen or heard from Haason Reddick until he issues the trade request, which obviously the Jets say they're not going to honor. So we've got a guy who says he's not showing up without a contract. We've got a team who says they're not paying the player unless he shows up. We've got both sides dug in to their stances, and we've got a situation that doesn't help anybody. So at some point in time, somebody has to step up and try to figure out a solution to this particular situation that is dragged on during the offseason into training camp. 4.5 months right now. Haason Reddick is scheduled to make $14.25 million in the last year of his deal. It's exactly why Philadelphia traded him. The Eagles were not prepared to pay him what he wanted. The Jets thought they might be able to work out a deal, but they stopped talking to him. The last offer that they made to him essentially was right at the time of the trade. It was a subpar offer in Haason Reddick's estimation and opinion. He didn't take it, and there have been no further contract talks since then. And so now we're at a stalemate.
Yeah. Is that normal? That doesn't seem normal in 2024 because there's like precedent of these types of trades that have happened. Like this feels amateur? Like, does it? And is that how we should be viewing it? Or does this happen more often and we just don't know about it because it's not like all pro caliber player to a team that is allegedly trying to win a Super Bowl or bust this year? So like, you wouldn't think that would happen with that type of organization or program. But then I guess, does this happen often? And I just am lapse of memory here?
Well, I think it's a little bit unusual. I don't remember a situation going on like this where a team traded for a guy and the guy's requested a trade before he ever really stepped foot into that building to play a down for that team. That's a little bit unusual. It feels a little bit like Bill Belichick resigning as the head coach of the New York Jets 4 or 5 minutes after he was going to get the job. Like, it's the modern day player version of that. And I think the unfortunate part is that somehow this became public. Like, these two sides should have handled it privately and gotten it resolved before it got to this point in time. But both sides feel very strongly about their particular stances and where they're coming from. And the Jets feel like they don't want to reward a player who stayed away, demanded a trade without ever having taken part in a practice for that team. The player feels like, I'm an elite pass rusher. You need me to make a playoff run. You should be paying me what some of the top pass rushers are making, considering I'm making $14.25 million this year. And so they're at a standstill. So, again, somebody's got to step forward and figure out a solution. They each have said what they want. It's gone public. We can debate the merits of each side. What are they doing to advance this, to get it solved before they open the season in San Francisco on Monday night in a few weeks?
Does Reddick represent himself?
No, he's got an agent.
Okay, so that's even more so. Like, I don't know how we get to this point because of I assume Haason Reddick isn't the only player that this agent reps, and I assume there's other business that has been done between Joe Douglas and his agent. So to get to this point just seems like an incredible amount of miscommunication and almost just like malpractice out of business sense to get it figured out and get it sorted, which leads to the Ayuk situation that is currently happening right now. To get that entire thing sorted, we're kind of learning right in front of us what is the possibilities as it all takes place. Let's go to another bummed out injury. D-Butch got a question for you, Schefter.
Yeah, Jahmyr Gibbs. I know we got a lot of fantasy football drafts coming up. Jahmyr Gibbs, Christian McCaffrey still. Any updates with those injuries?
Yeah, Gibbs essentially left practice yesterday with what the team called a leg injury. So, again, made some calls and found that it's a hamstring. Now, I don't know the extent of the hamstring, but I'm going to guess it's a hamstring injury, which means I would guess we will not see Jahmyr Gibbs the rest of the summer, and we will prepare to see him on opening night against the Los Angeles Rams. That would be my guess, a guess on a hamstring injury. But when you're talking about a player this explosive, this dynamic, this talented, obviously it's a huge concern anytime there's any sort of injury. But again, hamstring would tell me that he's going to have a real chance to be back on opening night, and the team will be smart about it. Until then, Christian McCaffrey, calf strain. It's a similar kind of thing. You know, those are the kinds of muscle strains you don't want to have to deal with in camp, but you get him a month out of the season opener, sit the guy down, take it easy on him, and we'll see you on opening weekend. It's the same type of situation, different muscles, different strains, and we'll see how each player can respond in time for the start of the regular season.
Yeah, and get it out of the way. You know? Get the cold now so you get the antibodies.
Bingo.
Get COVID now, you know, so you can make it through football season.
Smart.
Without it, build up the antibodies. You know, pull a calf now so you can't pull a calf later.
Exactly.
That's how it works.
Hopefully they don't linger.
That's how it goes.
So I'll keep them on my draft board for now.
What do you
I'm saying it's calf injuries, especially calves, where you've seen them linger, quarterbacks, running backs, you know, soft tissue. You want to go into the season.
No, it's just like,
100%.
what's
So
your
like
cold?
deal
You build up
coverage.
the antibodies. You just
I'm
build up the
saying,
calves.
D-Butch.
It's good. Gibbs is going to be good. His
I hope so.
hamstring's going to be stronger than it's ever been.
Yeah, it's gonna be jaw.
That's what they're saying. That is, those muscles, though, boy, they
Soft
do
tissue.
go on and on and on and on and on.
Especially with low body fat guys.
Yeah, explosive. Which is why Tyreek Hill is so impressive. Yeah. Like, nobody talks about his durability enough.
Fact.
You know, we should talk about that. Anyways, last question here, Schefter, as we steal your time and have our own conversations, which we do apologize for. Connor's got something about New England, possibly.
Yeah, Shefty, multiple teams have reached out to New England about Matthew Judon. What's the situation there, and is there a chance that a deal gets done now that Ayuk to New England's not happening and they have the most cap space in the NFL?
Yeah, I think New England has wanted to re-sign Matthew Judon. It's worked on re-signing Matthew Judon. A deal has not gotten done. To me, it's the type of situation where why would New England trade Judon right now before the start of the season? It would send a bad message in my mind to the team. Now, if the season opens up, it's not going the way they want, which is not what I think they're thinking right now. You could always revisit that coming up to the trade deadline, right? But to trade him now, before the season for a pick or two in 2025 or 6, how does that help you on opening day if you're New England? It doesn't. And so, to me, if you're the Patriots, you keep working on a contract extension. You see if you can get something done for a player that you want to keep who's been highly productive. And if you can't, then at that point in time, later in the season, if the season's not going the way you want, then you could always revisit a trade at that time. But to think that they're going to go and trade Matthew Judon now before the season doesn't make sense to me, but let's see how they operate.
The NFL's awesome. We shall see and learn about the Coach Mayo and Elliott Wolf program being run up in New England as the days roll on. And I think we're all excited to see if that offensive line can protect that Drake May.
It will be.
Yeah, for a Rookie of the Year run, maybe.
I don't see why not. Or Polk, Rookie of the Year run. Who knows?
Who knows? Maybe both co.
Ooh.
Wow. New England's on the up and up.
Or a Joe Milton Rookie of the Year run.
Oh!
Had a great
Shut up,
debut.
dude. Just shut up. Why would you even throw that out?
Ladies and gentlemen, Adam Schefter.